future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
NDTV shines with 38 prestigious wins at the News Television Awards 2024. Powerful journalism to cutting-edge digital innovation, production excellence to regional leadership, NDTV sets the benchmark. 38 awards, each a testament to your trust in NDTV. NDTV stands for trust. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the topmost news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
And impact your lives.
News that informs and keeps you ahead.
from Maximum City Mumbai
To the seat of governance, Delhi.
NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith. The world's biggest spiritual festival. The divine dip at the spiritual Sangam. A sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
It is a new era for India, a transformative time as the startup surge is reshaping India's economy. India is currently home to over 1.5 lakh registered startups, over 100 unicorns, and as per recent data, these startups are creating over 15.5 lakh direct jobs in the country. Startups are expected to be the core driver to India's economic growth this decade, or transformative era as it is being called. They are likely to contribute nearly $120 billion or 1.6% to India's GDP by 2030, as per a latest study conducted by Kalari Capital. This essentially means there could be a 3.5 times jump in the contribution of startups to the state of India's economy as compared to 2023. To analyze this study further, I'm joined by Nishchil Kandula, the co-founder of Curry8, Akriti Gupta, founder of Juno Mom, and Rajneesh Bhandari, member Implementation Committee for Startups, also the founder of Neuro Equilibrium. Thank you all for your time. Rajneesh, I'd like to begin by asking you, India's decade, or a decade powered by the impact of technology, is about to take off. The study also mentioning the exponential growth expected in EdTech, Health Tech, and Deep Tech. Your thoughts on what is critical really for all startups in order to achieve this pace of growth and contribute to India's economy?
So I think the main drivers have been, Make in India. That has been a main driver. Then we have the GEM, which had the startup runway, where 24,000 startups are registered and about 23,000 crores of, sales have been done at the government portal. We have had BIRAC and others who have contributed to about 3,500 startups, and they have gone on to raise about 4,000 crores of follow-up funding. And then, of course, UPI has been a great leveling field and a transformative digital payment system which has helped this. So these have been the key drivers, and I think what is expected now is that if government could be the procurement, could have a mechanism for procurement of innovation. Typically, what happens is in the government sector, you need, 3 or more tenders or bids. Now, if there is something which is for the first time happening in India and it is an innovative product, then if and it is in key sectors like agri-tech, med-tech, and clean tech and others, where government is actually a procurement agency, then if government can have a mechanism for procurement of innovation, something like this has been done in the defense sector with Dare to Dreams 5.0 and 4.0 that they had earlier. So something like an X Prize where they encourage the startups in this ecosystem.
Right, some key suggestions there really. Akriti, as someone who's a startup founder herself, take our viewers through the challenges and how you overcame them.
I think I would agree with whatever we have been discussing so far. Yes, I think we are sitting in a time where there's a lot of privilege. So while there are challenges, we have an ecosystem which is ready for entrepreneurs. We have resources in terms of capital, in terms of mentorship, in terms of government policies, and so on and so forth. I'm myself a beneficiary of Startup India. In terms of challenges, I think a lot of us are, we start fairly young. And when we do that, there is a learning curve for the founder itself. There is learning in terms of how do you build the team, how do you figure out what the consumer really wants. Just raising funds doesn't solve it. The biggest focus area for any founder is that what problem are we solving for the consumer, and getting to that can have its own twists and turns.
Right, Nischal, how do you think the government's policy initiatives have helped so far? And going forward, what would be your message to startup founders like yourself, as often fear of investment or just starting out on your own can be quite overwhelming?
Yeah, it is. But I think we are, like Akriti was mentioning, we are in fairly a privileged era. Two things. One, the all digital India initiatives have been extremely transparent. We ourselves have started our startup career during COVID era, and we didn't have to visit any sort of government agency. It was all done transparently. But most importantly, two things that's helping this entire wave. Number one, India is now a consumption-first society and economy. More than 60% of Indian economy is driven by consumption. And only other country that is on similar lines is USA. So what we have to do is government policies should aid consumption, obviously available of capital both for the consumers as well as the business owners is important. But the other important factor that is helping us is the distribution. Earlier, the distribution largely was physical. Nowadays, this Q-commerce, the social commerce, this ONDC, the BNPL, buy now, pay later, all this is helping us to actually ride the wave and accelerate the growth at very fast pace.
Right, Rajneesh, job creation is really at the center of this all. We have seen that already over 15.5 lakh direct jobs are being created because of startups in the country. But going forward, as we see that tech is evolving and we see the startup studies being conducted on the pace of growth, going forward, how can this sector alone create more jobs, you think?
Yeah, so I think as per government data, about 17 lakh direct jobs have been created by startups. And this should increase by about 4 times by 2030. And the top contributors have been, of course, startups in the IT sector, but also in the health and life sciences sector, EdTech center. What government has to do is to liberalize, some of the laws, simplify the laws, especially the labor laws. And let the startups bloom, and some of the regulatory issues that come in the way, if they are sorted out, we will have much more employment generation by the startups.
Right, Akriti, do you agree, and do you feel it is time to rescale and focus on skill development altogether?
No, I agree. I think I definitely agree with Rajneesh, and I have I'm looking at it from two angles. I think one big side of it is, yes, our compliances are still not extremely startup friendly. Any founder spends a significant amount of time, abiding by all of the compliances. That takes time for sure. The second one being that consumer is changing. In the last 10 years, 20 years, the consumer has changed a lot. And with that, it places us in a very great position to look at newer problems, come up with newer solutions. Now, when the problems are new, the consumer sentiment is new, the solutions are new, automatically we are talking about very different kind of skills. We are talking about very different kind of job generation altogether. Like, for example, delivery. 10-minute delivery or 30-minute delivery, that has become such a huge section in terms of job creation. We wouldn't have thought that 10 years back. So it's about reimagining everything, from skill development, from solutions, from ecosystem, everything.
Right, Nishchal, last word to you. Do you agree it is time to reimagine everything for this sector to grow at the pace it is estimated to grow now?
Yeah, it is. It is. And I think we've already taken advantage of the Indian context here. The labor available at cheap cost is earlier seen as a negative, but nowadays that's the positive thing. And that's how the deliveries and the 10-minute deliveries, 15-minute deliveries, all happening at such a big scale. I think it's important to understand Indian dynamics and think big and build in India. For India, and we are still at 1.6 by 2030. We'll still contribute. Startups will still contribute to 1.6% of the GDP, and in developed nations, it's above 5 to 10%. So long way to go, and I think we just started off in this race.
All right, thank you all for sharing your insightful thoughts and for this interaction.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sakshi, for all those details. And let's just switch our tracks now. And this is in regard to hiring. That is tedious, time-consuming process for any organization. But there's a way to slash the manual workload. TrackCheck, a startup through an AI agent, is helping organizations do background checks in no time. My colleague Shubhangi Mishra spoke with the co-founders of this startup. Let's listen in.
Hello and welcome to NDTV. I am Shubhangi Mishra. The trickiest part of any hiring is background check. If I tell you, according to reports, employment verification discrepancies rose to over 40%. With me are the three co-founders of TrackCheck, Rishabh Jain, Jaibir Nihal Singh, and Arman Mehta. Thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. My first question, I'm sure our viewers will also be interested in knowing, how did you come up with this idea? What was your inspiration?
Well, I can answer that. With all of the ChatGPT stuff happening, we quickly saw that AI can do a lot of the repetitive tasks which humans don't want to do. And background checks actually involve a lot of emailing, a lot of back and forth, and there's a lot of errors which can happen with this process. So it seemed like the perfect vertical to apply this new technology to and improve the lives of everyone, help people get jobs faster, help employers hire the best people faster. And there's a $10 billion market for background checks in the world, so there's clearly a big need for it. So yeah, we thought, let's go and solve this problem.
No matter how interesting it sounds, I will also come to the technical part of it. While AI do have several benefits, but it also poses several challenges. For example, data breach. How do you deal with it? Do you have some regulation which you guys follow?
Yeah, so look, we take data very seriously at TrackCheck. So the first thing is consent. Before we run a background check, we definitely have to take consent from the candidate. And then we take data storage very seriously as well. You know, we use AWS servers in India. And it's up to the client, you know, how long they want the data stored, if they want the data stored at all. So again, it's one of the most important aspects, of TrackCheck is data and its privacy and security.
Okay, my next question. When it comes to background checks of potential employees in specific, does AI work on the surface level in terms of determining any shortcomings, or is it sophisticated enough to gauge the competence of potential employee?
Sure. Actually, it can very well do both. As of now, we use AI to help companies aggregate data, make decisions in a fraction of the time as compared to legacy systems. Eventually, it can go much deeper. Psychometric analysis. You can use AI to figure out, is this candidate the right fit for this job or not? You can use past data. So there are a lot of things which can happen eventually. But as of now, TrackCheck is essentially an AI agent which automates communication with previous companies, candidates, clients, etc. So it helps make decisions in seconds versus legacy systems which take weeks or months.
Okay. Atlas, being a part of this very interesting startup, I would say, how do you see the startup industry blooming in the next 15 years from now?
You know, it's super interesting you asked that because 4 years back, we started TrackCheck from our living rooms, right? And today we're going to have offices in 3 continents.
That's
so, you know, without the startup ecosystems and, you know, the support of funding and just the acceptance of startups, where else, you know, and how else could you do this in 4 years from your living room to, you know, having offices in multiple countries and continents? So I think, you know, it's just the beginning for, you know, startups in India. I think we're going to see a lot of cool startups and massive companies being built, by young teams. You know, this TrackCheck was the first thing all of us did. You know, I actually started working on TrackCheck the day I graduated. Okay. So, and I think it's same for Arma and Rishabh that I think the startup ecosystem in India is booming, and we definitely are going to, be at the forefront of it.
That's right. Seems like the future of hiring. Thank you so much, Shubhangi, for getting us a complete insight as to what TrackCheck does. Well, moving on now, in a major intelligence-led nationwide operation undertaken with the active assistance of the Kerala and West Bengal police against a known fundamentalist of jihadi global terrorist organization, the Assam Police Special Task Force has apprehended and arrested 8 fundamentalists, including one Bangladeshi national from Kerala, thus unearthing a terror module which was preparing to strike Assam's police special DGP. Harmeet Singh has spoken to NDTV. Let's listen into this interview with Nathandeep Chaudhary.
We're joined by the Special DGP of Assam Police, Mr. Harmeet Singh. Mr. Singh, big success for Assam Police, STF, the Special Task Force.
Actually, it's a major move and against jihadi elements, and the fact that we could nip this in the bud with the help of central agencies and particularly the West Bengal and the Kerala police. So only when we get more would I call it a further success. But yes, we have made a beginning, and certain apprehensions that were there in the minds of many regarding the situation emanating out of what is happening in Bangladesh and the various parts of our western neighbor to destabilize our country. So we have managed to make a beginning. So yes, you could call it a success.
What about the people that they were part of their network whom you have picked up from Assam and West Bengal, the Indian members of their sleeper cell? What about them? And as you have pointed out, have you got any leads in terms of the Bangladeshi organizations, terror organizations which were linked, or any Pakistani terror organization that they were in touch?
See, I have clearly told you that they are clearly linked to Ansarul Bangla team. Nurul Islam has been arrested earlier for being a part of ABT in 2015 for subversive activities. He was out on bail, and their handler in Bangladesh is a close associate of the chief of the ABT, which is a part of the AQIS.
And switching tracks now to news coming in from Jaipur. At least 4 people have died and 35 others have been injured in a massive fire that broke out following a truck collision outside a petrol pump in Rajasthan's Jaipur. Most of those injured have been hospitalized, are said to be in critical condition. To get more on this, we have my colleague Harsha joining us. Harsha, get us details of what time did this incident take place, and how did this fire really break out with the Chief Minister there also visiting those who have been injured in this tragedy?
Well, at about past 7:30 in the morning is when we are told that this gas tanker, apparently, which was on the highway, collided with another vehicle, and that led to a huge blast. And as you know, because of the gas, the blast it engulfed cars which were parked there close by, and also other cars on the road. We are given to understand, and I do definitely fear that the number of people who've died in this huge accident is going to go up. because, some of them have sustained very, very severe burn injuries. They are in the hospital right now. Now, about 24 people have been severely injured because, as I told you, the fire spread very fast, especially when it's a gas tanker collision and that catches fire. 4 people is what we have been told have died. Of course, the official figures will come in later, but unfortunately, this number is likely to go up because the people who have been injured have sustained severe burn injuries. The Chief Minister has visited them in the hospital right now. The Health Minister is also at the hospital right now at the spot. And the Ajmer-Jaipur highway is completely jammed. It's completely jammed. It's impossible to get there. So they are diverting the routes via the alternate routes, that is, Sirsi, and, that is one alternate route. But even there, we can see that, the traffic movement out of Jaipur is getting choked because this is Bhakrota. It's on the Jaipur-Ajmer highway, and in fact, there's an advisory that no one, absolutely no one, should venture that side right now because it will lead to further jams. And as of now, they need to have the route clear there so that the evacuation can happen. The fire brigade is at the spot. Ambulances have been rushing people to hospital, and you can see those visuals on your screen right now.
Right. Well, Harsha, let's just listen into what the DM of Jaipur, Jitendra Soni, had to say.
4 लोगों की अभी डेथ हुई है। जितने भी आपको व्हीकल्स का नंबर पता है, लगभग 40 के करीब ये व्हीकल हैं। आपने देखा होगा कि चारों तरफ हमारी जो फायर ब्रिगेड है, एम्बुलेंसेज हैं, वो पहुंच गई हैं। सभी विभागों के लोग यहाँ हैं। राहत कार्य चालू है। आग मोटे तौर पे बुझ चुकी है, पर 1-2 व्हीकल के अंदर कहीं आग है, उसको हम बुझाने का प्रयास करें। इसके अंदर घायलों की जो संख्या है वो लगभग 23-24 के करीब। 4 की डेथ है सर? 4 की डेथ।
And switching tracks now, Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri is on a 3-day trip to Mauritius in a first high-level engagement between the two sides after the formation of the new government in the island nation. Misri's visit is reflective of the priority India attaches to its relationship with Mauritius under its Sagar, that's security and growth for all in the region vision, and also Africa Forward policy and the commitment to the global south. That's what the External Affairs Ministry has put out in its announcement as Vikram Misri begins his trip to Mauritius. And now the confusion surrounding the venue of the ICC Champions Trophy is finally over after months of delay. Well, it is the International Cricket Council finally officially declaring that the venues for the elite event, it will be played across Pakistan and a neutral venue. The ICC said in a statement, it means that India will play its matches in that neutral venue, including the knockouts and the games that it qualifies. And my colleague Osama has all the details.
The ICC has confirmed that the ICC Champions Trophy, all the matches involving India and Pakistan, especially in the Future Tours program 2024 till the 2027 cycle, will be played at neutral venues. What it basically means is that all of India's matches in the upcoming ICC Champions Trophy, which is going to happen next year, all their matches will take place at a neutral venue. Now, this can either be UAE or Sri Lanka, whatever that the ICC decides. Similarly, the T20 World Cup that is going to take place in 2026, which is being co-hosted by India and Sri Lanka, Pakistan will play all its matches, most likely will play all its matches in Sri Lanka and not in India. Now, ICC has also made a couple of more announcements with respect to the Women's T20 World Cup as well. That is going to take place in 2028. Pakistan is supposed to host the Women's T20 World Cup. The big point here is that it is not a part of that Future Tours program that is 2024 to the 2027 cycle, but the arrangements of neutral venues will also apply to this particular tournament as well. Now, another tournament, that is the 2025 Women's ODI World Cup, that is going to take place in India. Pakistan will play all their matches at the neutral venue. So, as far as the schedule is concerned, it has not come out yet, as you mentioned, and we'll be hoping that that schedule also comes out soon.
And switching tracks now to Telangana, and it is the ACB, the Anti-Corruption Bureau in the state, that's officially filed a case against BRS leader and former Telangana Minister KT Ramarao for alleged irregularities amounting to 55 crore rupees in organizing the Formula E car race that was held in Hyderabad during the BRS regime last year in 2023. The issue has led to a heated exchange between the BRS and the Congress, with the BRS and the Ramarao demanding a discussion in the legislature. Of course, KT Ramarao denying all those charges. Georges.
A big joke because where there is no corruption, I have no idea how ACB can register a case. Under what grounds, in what context have they created a case or hoisted a case? I'm not sure. We will not cow down, we will not bow down to the antics of this coward government and to this sadistic chief minister and his perverted ideas. We'll certainly face the case legally and we'll challenge this government and its machinery in the court of law. Well, I've already explained this elaborately. Why is the ACB involved? Let the government answer. Because if there are norms which have not been followed, as they claim, then I don't think ACB should be involved. It's other department, finance department or somebody else.
అందుకనే మనోడు ప్రతిసారి అరెస్ట్ చేసుకోండి, పెడితే కేసులు పెట్టుకోండి, ఏం పీక్కుంటారో పీక్కోండి అని ఇలాంటి మాటలు అందుకే వస్తున్నాయి అనేది మనకు దీని ద్వారా అవగతం అవుతున్నది. అంటే కాంగ్రెస్ ప్రభుత్వం ఆధారాలు లేకుండా స్పష్టమైన విచారణ మీద నమ్మకంతోనే ఎలాంటి చర్యలకైనా పూనుకుంటుంది. ఈ విషయాన్ని బీఆర్ఎస్ కానీ ఇతర ఎవరైనా కూడా ఆలోచించాల్సిన అవసరం ఉంది. ఊరికే బట్టగాల్సి మీదేసుడే, ఆధారాలు లేకుండా అరెస్ట్ చేసుడే అనేది కాంగ్రెస్ ప్రభుత్వం చేయదు. కాబట్టి కేటీఆర్ ఇష్టానుసారంగా ప్రజల నిధులను ప్రభుత్వం రూపంలో దుర్వినియోగం చేయడం అన్నది వాస్తవం.
And with that, we're wrapping up this bulletin. But before I leave, let's just get you Christmas celebrations of Prime Minister Modi. They're attending the Christmas celebration at Union Minister George Kurian's residence in the national capital. He also lighted candles while posting pictures, and he went on to talk about it on the social media site X. He also said that he had interacted with eminent members of the Christian community.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
This week on India Ascends.
Will Myanmar's junta chiefs see the same fate as Syria's Bashar al-Assad? Beijing in limbo as Xi's purge extends to his own men? How Trudeau's own misgivings are likely to become his end? And broken souls in a broken system, why young Wall Street bankers are getting by using ADHD pills.
All this and more only on India Ascends with me, Gauri Dwivedi, at these timings on the NDTV network.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
I've been reporting reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
NDTV shines with 38 prestigious wins at the News Television Awards 2024. Powerful journalism to cutting-edge digital innovation, production excellence to regional leadership, NDTV sets the benchmark. 38 awards, each a testament to your trust in NDTV. NDTV stands for trust. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the topmost news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
New day, new show, a new experience.
Start your day with the news, not views.
We bring you stories that matter
and impact your lives.
News that informs and keeps you ahead.
from Maximum City, Mumbai,
to the seat of governance, Delhi.
NDTV brings to you the best breakfast show. The breakfast show only on NDTV 24/7 every morning at 8 a.m.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at
A massive fire erupted in Jaipur. 4 people have died and several others have been injured after trucks collide that led to a CNG tanker that was parked near the petrol pump to catch fire near a school in Jaipur. And MP's injury row fallout with the speaker there barring a stir at the gates of the parliament, while the Congress and the BJP both are planning a protest again at the parliament. It's Rahul Gandhi, leader of opposition, who's been booked in the assault case. One Nation, One Poll JPC panel has been expanded. More opposition MPs will be included after Uddhav Thackeray raked up that issue. Now the government to move the One Nation, One Poll bill for reference to the Joint Parliamentary Committee. Death toll has risen to 14 in the Mumbai boat tragedy, with the police there writing to the Navy on the reckless speedboat driver and asking why were these trials conducted on such busy routes. Karnataka BJP MLC CT Ravi has been detained. Karnataka minister alleges offensive remarks by BJP Neta, while the BJP Neta there denying those charges. US government backs India's request to extradite 2611 accused. The US government is urging the Supreme Court to junk the plea of Tahavur Rana. A very good morning. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Divya Wadhwa. We have a whole lot lined up for you, including tragic news coming out of Jaipur. At least 4 people have died. 35 others have been injured in a massive fire that broke out following a truck collision outside a petrol pump in Rajasthan's Jaipur. Most of those injured have been hospitalized but are believed to be in critical condition. The incident that took place due to trucks colliding. And to get more on this, we have my colleague Harsha joining us to get us more on this. Harsha, what really led to this collision and this massive fire that has resulted in several people getting injured and at least 4 people who've lost their lives?
Absolutely. So early in the morning on the Jaipur-Ajmer highway, there is a place called Bhakrota, which is just about 10 to 12 kilometers outside Jaipur. That's where this collision took place. This truck was carrying LPG gas, and as you know, it's highly inflammable. So when this collision took place, the gas caught fire, and about 40 to 45 vehicles in the surrounding vicinity have been charred, have been burnt or charred. Very, very unfortunate news that 4 people, the official government figures have confirmed that 4 people have died in this accident due to burn injuries. But, there are severe burn injuries to the other people who have been admitted in hospital. So I do fear and there is an apprehension that these numbers will go up. The Chief Minister, as soon as he heard the news, reached the hospital and he has met the medical superintendent there, Dr. Deepak Maheshwari. He's done a round of the wards. The Health Minister, Mr. Gajendra Singh Khemsar, also reached the hospital. All administrative officials are at the spot, including Jaipur Collector. Fire brigades and ambulances are there. The fire is under control now, but, the rescue operations are still underway. Also, a word of caution for anyone driving out on that highway from Jaipur towards Ajmer. Please do not go there. It's completely and absolutely jammed. There is no way that you're going to be able to cross Jaipur and go out towards Ajmer on that highway for the next 1 or 2 hours at least. Traffic is being diverted onto arterial roads and these too are getting jammed. So a word of caution, because remember, the Jaipur-Ajmer highway is an important highway. Don't venture that side. There is a huge jam as rescue operations are on. Traffic is being diverted, but even the arterial roads are being jammed.
Right, Harsha. Well, of course, this incident that took place as early as 5:30 this morning, that's resulted in several people being injured, and the Rajasthan Chief Minister also there visiting the hospital to meet the victims. Let's just listen into what the DM had to say.
4 लोगों की अभी डेथ हुई है. जितने भी आपको व्हीकल्स का नंबर पता है, लगभग 40 के करीब ये व्हीकल हैं. आपने देखा होगा कि चारों तरफ हमारी जो फायर ब्रिगेड है, एम्बुलेंसेज हैं, वो पहुंच गई हैं. सभी विभागों के लोग यहाँ हैं. राहत कार्य चालू है. आग मोटे तौर पे बुझ चुकी है, पर 1-2 व्हीकल के अंदर कहीं कहीं आग है, उसको हम बुझाने का प्रयास करेंगे. इसके अंदर घायलों की जो संख्या है वो लगभग 23-24 के करीब. 4 की डेथ है. 4 की डेथ.
Let's just get you the latest as far as Maharashtra is concerned in that Mumbai boat tragedy. Unfortunately, the death toll has now risen to 14, with the police there writing to the Indian Navy seeking information regarding the reckless speedboat driver, asking why they were conducting these trials on such a busy route and who really gave that permission for that trial run in the first place. Other questions that are being raised by the Mumbai police. Now, the Mumbai Coast authorities on Thursday made life jackets mandatory for all people taking boat rides from the Gateway of India. 14 people, including a Navy personnel and 2 contractual naval employees, were killed and nearly 100 rescued after the Navy craft carrying out engine trials dashed against the passenger ferry Nilkamal on Wednesday afternoon. My colleague Anuj has the details.
We are on one of the ferries which is leaving from the Gateway of India to go to Elephanta Caves. And as you can see, after the incident that has taken place properly 24 hours before when we are shooting this video, every individual who's sitting in this boat is wearing a life jacket, right? You can see that there is a substantial number of crew members, be it people who are expected to drive the boat or people who are helping them out. They're all helping these people put on their rescue jackets properly. तो आप जब भी ऐसी जगहों पे आते हो, क्या लाइफ जैकेट्स पहनना आप हमेशा प्रेफर करते हो? क्या आपको कैसे लगता है, लोगों को अप्रोच कैसे होता है?
अच्छा लगता है. जैकेट पहनना चाहिए अपने सेफ्टी के लिए, सही रहता है.
अपनी सेफ्टी है.
क्या आप हमेशा जब ऐसी जगहों पे आते हो तो पहनते हो?
पहनता हूँ.
पहनते हो?
हाँ सर, जैकेट तो पहनना जरूरी है. हम सब लोग को जैकेट देता हूँ और कल भी जैकेट्स ऑलरेडी पहने थे लोगों ने, पैसेंजर ने पहने थे.
क्या आपके एक्सपीरियंस में क्या ये पैसेंजर लोग यूजुअली जैकेट्स वगैरह पहनते हैं या फिर कुछ लोग पहनना मना कर देते हैं? आपको क्या लगता है?
नहीं, पैसेंजर को तो हम लोग जैकेट देते हैं ऑलरेडी. कोई पैसेंजर ऐसे है कि थोड़ी दिक्कत रहती है कि थोड़ा एंजॉय करने के लिए जैकेट निकाल देते हैं, लेकिन ऐसा कभी होता नहीं. पैसेंजर को जैकेट्स देना हम लोग को important समझते हैं.
So we see that there are special small life jackets for the kids. The incident that took place yesterday, we had a couple of children who unfortunately lost their lives in that particular incident, which is why we are seeing that they'll be making sure that even the small children will be wearing a life jacket.
They don't know what is the importance of wearing this life jacket, because we have being into Rishikesh also. It is very important to wear a jacket because they used to tell us to go outside and enjoy the complete way. So it is very important. If we are stuck over there, we can just mix up with people, and then life jacket is actually important. There is a whistle facility also. We can just bring the whistle also and get into it.
These were a few of the people who are very excited to take on these journeys, even when they know that there has been an accident yesterday, only because they trust the people who travel or who use these boats. and because they're also aware of the fact that if they wear life jackets, they will be safe on most of the occasions. With camera person Rajendra Dayarkar, this is Anuj Rai reporting for NDTV from Mumbai.
Thank you so much, Anush, for getting us those details. And switching tracks now to Karnataka, and the BJP MLC C.T. Ravi has been detained after an FIR was registered against him for allegedly using derogatory words against the minister. Now, this has taken place in the Legislative Council. He was taken into the police custody from the premises of the Vidhan Sauda. C.T. Ravi, on his part, has denied those allegations. And we have my colleague Veera joining us. Veera, he is expected to be produced in a special court in Bengaluru today. First, let's just listen into what really has been said.
ಮತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ನನಗೆ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನನ್ನ ಜೀವಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪೊಲೀಸರು ಮತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರ, ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಹೆಬ್ಬಾಳ್ಕರ್, ಡಿ.ಕೆ. ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವ್ರ ತಂಡವೇ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಈ ಮೂಲಕ ನಾನು ತಿಳಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ನಿಗೂಢವಾಗಿದೆ. ಯಾವುದೋ ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್ಗಳನ್ನು ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿರೋ ರೀತಿ ಅನುಮಾನ ಹುಟ್ಟಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ನಡೆಯೂ ಕೂಡ ಅನುಮಾನಾಸ್ಪದವಾಗಿದೆ ಅವರು ನಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ರೀತಿ. ನಾನೊಬ್ಬ ಜನಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದವನು.
Veera joining us to get us more on this. Veera, we also heard, his lawyer say that there's a threat to his life, and those are the claims that are being made. And now he will be produced in a special court, and that's expected to be in Bengaluru.
Not really. He will be produced in a court in Belagavi. The case has been filed in Belagavi, and he will be produced in Belagavi, where he would seek bail. In all likelihood, he would get bail. Remember, the incident is about using of obscene word while the discussion was on in the state legislature at the Legislative Council. There was a lot of sloganeering over the Ambedkar controversy in the Legislative Council when the speaker had adjourned the house for a bit. At that time, there was an exchange that happened. Lakshmi Hebbalkar had said something, and C.T. Ravi had used obscene words in retaliation, and that is what led to the case being filed. The Congress, of course, taking this matter strongly, saying that this was a criminal offence. Then, of course, he was arrested by the police there. He was taken first to the Hirebaghiwadi police station, where the case has been filed, and then for security reasons taken to Khanapur, which is nearby. Today, he will be produced in a court in Belagavi, where we expect him to apply for bail. In all likelihood, given the nature of offence that's been filed, he would be getting bail. That is pretty much what we expect will unfold. Obviously, the political exchange over this controversy expected to go on. The assembly session, of course, coming to a close. So this political controversy and the exchange over it expected to go on outside in Karnataka's political landscape for a few more days. I believe, Divya, we have Deputy Leader of Opposition of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Arvind Bellad, on the phone line. Arvind, thanks very much for speaking to us. Can you give us the latest on what is happening, what the BJP plans to do as far as this case is concerned? Obviously, there will be an application for bail for C.T. Ravi to be filed before the Belagavi court.
Yeah, he's already they have got him back to Belgavi, and he's at Ankara station, and we are ready with the lawyers at the magistrate's house, but we are not sure whether they will physically produce him or they will do a video conference. So either case, we are ready to move the bail, so we'll have to see. State government is very, very secretive about it, and they are not coming out with the details.
Arvind, basically, in terms of the offence itself, what really happened in the Legislative Council? The Congress, of course, saying that an obscene word was used by Mr. Ravi in reference to Lakshmi Hebbalkar, who's the only woman minister in the state cabinet.
No, we really, we checked up with Mr. Ravi. Ravi, as far as Mr. Ravi is concerned, he has not used any extreme word. And neither the minister is coming out and saying, what was that extreme word? So, we really do not, we think it is just a clear case of high-handedness, just because a very strong protest was going against the moves by Congress. So, it was very strongly protested by our members. So, in order to show in order to suppress the voices of the BJP and voice of the opposition, they are targeting Ravi.
Okay, one more issue here, Arvind, is that about privilege. What we are given to understand is because the session was adjourned when this exchange took place, and B, it's a criminal offence. It can be taken outside and not just as a privilege issue inside the Legislative Council. What's the clarity on that?
See, Mr. Speaker, like Mr. Basavaraj Horati has already given a ruling ki neither claims can be proven. So that's why he did not give any ruling in favor of Lakshmi Hebbalkar. So that itself shows that is under the Speaker's privilege. It cannot be taken to court. But this Congress government is taking merit a police case. And they are completely ignoring the privileges of legislatively elected members.
Thanks very much there, Arvind Bellad. We'll keep a close watch of that case. Obviously, he will be produced before a Belagavi court there, Divya, and we will expect the application of bail as well to be made there. We'll keep you updated on the latest from Belagavi.
Some sort of confusion. What we were hearing from our sources that he could be shifted to Bengaluru, but he will be in Belagavi itself, and that is the latest as far as C.T. Ravi is concerned. Switching tracks now to the Parliament and the police case that has been filed against leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi after the BJP filed a complaint over the two of its MPs getting injured during that protest. The Congress has also filed a police complaint alleging that Mallikarjun Kharge was also injured. Let's go across to Maria, who's joining us from right outside the Parliament. Maria, what can we expect today with both sides there planning a protest right at the Parliament yet again?
Morning. Good morning to the viewers of NDTV. It is the last day of the winter session of Parliament, a day after what will be termed as one of the blackest chapters in India's parliamentary democracy, where you had MPs assault each other, indulge in what was seen as pushing and shoving. Now there has been a case of intimidation and also causing grievous injuries, filed against Rahul Gandhi. That complaint by the BJP MPs was converted into an FIR last evening. What will be the nature of police investigation? We'll try and get details of that from Aishwarya. But today, in another 25-30 minutes, we can expect India Bloc MPs to arrive here, right here where we are at Vijay Chowk, and that's where their protest would begin. It will be a united India Bloc which had otherwise sent mixed signals throughout the winter session. When Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party wanted to raise the issue of a business house here in India, the other opposition parties, particularly the Trinamool Congress and the Samajwadi Party, wanted to raise issues which were very state-centric. And that is the reason why we saw that division in opposition ranks. What was seen as the index of opposition unity was at an all-time low. But now, because of the incident which happened yesterday, the opposition is together. It all starts with the debate on constitution, but just look at how ugly it has turned out to be. There is also that complaint which has been registered to the chairman of the Rajya Sabha by a woman MP, Ms. Konyak, who is from Nagaland. She is from the tribal community, and she has alleged that Rahul Gandhi came in very close proximity of her, which made her uncomfortable. What happens to that is also something that we'll be tracking very closely. But Aishwarya is joining us. Aishwarya, you know, there are two privilege notices which were given last evening. One was by Mallikarjun Kharge, another one by the Treasury benches. What is the status of those? And today is the last day of the winter session. I'm sure there will be no work whatsoever. But in terms of messaging and optics, Aishwarya, as someone who was an eyewitness of what happened at Makardwar yesterday, give us more details.
Well, a very good morning. Yesterday, there were ugly scenes that we witnessed. It was unprecedented in itself as far as the parliamentary democracy is concerned. There were face-to-face clashes that we also saw between the Bharatiya Janata Party MPs and the opposition MPs. But the winter session that started on a very, very stormy note is all set to end on an acrimonious note on Ambedkar issue that is not going to die down in a day or two. This will continue for many, many days. There are claims and counter allegations of what happened yesterday, and therefore the reason perhaps, the FIRs were registered at the Parliament Street Police Station. Rahul Gandhi is an accused. Dr. Himang Joshi, Bharatiya Janata Party MP, is a complainant in that. And apart from the section 119, which is attempt to murder of the BNS, every section had been invoked that was in the complaint copy. Dr. Pratap Sarangi and Manoj and Mukesh Rajput, both the MPs are still at the RML hospital, and they are being monitored by a team of doctors. Today, there will be many, many leaders who will be going to meet them, including Home Minister Amit Shah, Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla to RML hospital. And because of this massive protest that we witnessed inside the parliament, the Lok Sabha Speaker has also warned the political parties and had given strict instructions that nobody will protest at the Makar Dwar of the new parliament building. And therefore, there are two protests at 10 a.m. today. Bharatiya Janata Party MPs will be protesting against the Congress Party at Ambedkar statue inside the parliament at Prerna Sthal. On the other side, the India Bloc MPs will be assembling at Vijay Chowk. They will be marching to the parliament, and certainly there could be another face-off that we can see. The security has been heightened at Vijay Chowk as well as inside the parliament, as well as the parliamentary security and the CRPF forces have been given strict instructions that nothing of such should again happen what we saw last day. But two investigations, one on the part of Delhi police, we have been told that the crime branch will soon take over the entire case for investigation. Second, the privilege notices which had been served, whether the Lok Sabha Speaker will give this complaint to the privilege committee, and what investigation they will conduct inside the house of what has happened is something that remains to be seen. But today, remember, is the last day. 2:30 p.m. is the time when Parliamentary Affairs Minister will be conducting a press conference. We are expecting another showdown on the Ambedkar issue happening inside the Parliament. A lot of adjournment motions had been given both from the Congress Party and from the Bharatiya Janata Party in both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Back to you.
All right, we'll try and connect with Shreya as well to give us a sense of the nature of security arrangement which has been put in place at Vijay Chowk. Shreya will get those details for us shortly. But let me bring in Neerja. Aishwarya continue to be with us. Neerja Chaudhary, good morning to you. We are waking up to what has been certainly an unfortunate day playing out in Parliament. Do you sense that this entire row around what was said, what wasn't really a slip of tongue either by Home Minister Amit Shah, will continue to play out on the streets, and Congress will continue to make this an issue? It is not ending with the end of this winter session.
Yeah, I don't expect it to end, given the potency of the issue and the opportunity that the Congress and the opposition have got with those remarks of Mr. Amit Shah. Yes, they will go all over the country with it. They will run a campaign. That goes without saying. Of course, it's a very tumultuous, very stormy, very vicious session that we have seen with such bitterness between the two sides. And I don't remember, I've covered Parliament for more than 40 years. I don't remember anything like this happening before, where senior leaders of both sides come to blows, virtual blows. At least there's a scuffle, pushing, jostling. Somebody like 81-year-old Mr. Kharge goes on has to sit down, his knees hurt. Two BJP MPs are hurt. I mean, it is unprecedented. Debate and discussion is no longer the language of India's parliament. It is physical force. That is what the people of India saw yesterday. And what is going to give way here, I don't know. How is the situation going to be diffused, if at all? Politics has its place, parliamentary debate has its place, but this kind of a spectacle I hope we never see again. But answering your question, certainly Ambedkar is increasingly becoming the icon of not just the Dalits, but communities beyond the Dalits also. And he has he's revered by them like a god by the Dalits. And Dalits are a very important constituency for both the Congress and the opposition and the ruling side. So they cannot afford to let up on that one. And I think we will see street action and public rallies on this issue in the coming weeks.
Okay, so it is not ending with the end of this winter session, but Aishwarya, Prime Minister leaves for his crucial diplomatic visit to Kuwait on Saturday. But it appears certainly that on the issue of constitution and Ambedkar in fashion comment of Home Minister Amit Shah, there will be more protests. But what is it that the BJP is protesting against today? On what issue are they registering their protest inside Parliament?
Well, there are two issues that Bharatiya Janata Party would be protesting. One, of course, on the fake narrative that the Congress Party has spread. According to the Bharatiya Janata Party, what they have been claiming that it's an edited video that the Congress Party had posted on social media of the remarks that Amit Shah made on Ambedkar inside the House. And the Congress Party had not heard the entire 85-minute long speech, the factual, evidences that he gave on the Ambedkar, and also how the Congress Party had not respected B.R. Ambedkar for many, many years. It was only Bharatiya Janata Party who gave outside support to the central government in 1990. After 40 years, B.R. Ambedkar got Bharat Ratna, and the work that the Bharatiya Janata Party had done as far as B.R. Ambedkar's legacy is concerned, and how they have taken B.R. Ambedkar's legacy forward in comparison to Congress Party, is something that they will be protesting. Also, asking an apology from Rahul Gandhi, and the kind of FIR that the BJP MP had registered against Rahul Gandhi after yesterday's incident is something that would be the flashpoint as far as the BJP protest at the Ambedkar statue at Prerna Sthal is concerned. So this would be the major part. The India MPs will be certainly adamant of demanding an apology from Home Minister Amit Shah, and also a resignation is something that they have sought. So clearly these are two flashpoints that had emerged since yesterday as far as the face-off is concerned. But it remains to be seen how things pan out, because it's an last day. Several motions needs to be moved in the House as well. House needs to function is something that the government had always stated. There is a motion by Law Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal on ONOP that needs to be moved, because the panel need to start working on the One Nation, One Election bill as well. So whether that will happen, whether a few minutes of work can be done inside the House, is very interesting to see.
All right, Ash, I'm going to come back to you in just a few minutes, but a word from Shreya now, who joins me live, from near the Vijay Chowk area where I am. Shreya, if you can give us an update on when can we expect the India Bloc MPs to arrive?
Well, nearly in 30 minutes, the India Bloc members will be arriving here protesting against the scuffle, the violent scuffle that broke out yesterday, and also on the flippant remarks made by the Home Minister Amit Shah against Ambedkar. And also, it's important to highlight, after what happened yesterday, the kind of security arrangements that have been set up. Here we can see the barricades have been put up. These are the usual barricades that are always in place at Vijay Chowk. Let's hear in from the security official here. Sir, आज इधर प्रोटेस्ट होने वाला है, बाहर भी बीजेपी का भी प्रोटेस्ट है, इधर इंडिया ब्लॉक का प्रोटेस्ट है. क्या सिक्योरिटी अरेंजमेंट्स अलग से कुछ किया गया है?
नहीं, इसके बारे में तो सीनियर अफसर ही बताएंगे, हम कुछ नहीं कह सकते.
राइट, बट इधर जैसे नॉर्मली बैरिकेड्स रहता है वैसा ही है कुछ?
हाँ, अभी तो नॉर्मल ही है.
राइट, सो एवरीथिंग इज नॉर्मल हियर राइट नाउ, बट इन 30 minutes we will see the India Bloc members arriving here protesting at the Parliament. Back to you.
Okay.
All right, Shreya, Aishwarya and Neerja ma'am, thank you so much for joining us. This morning at 10 a.m. is when we will be seeing competitive protests. It's a tit-for-tat politics playing out here in Parliament, where for every FIR which was lodged outside, there was a counter FIR. For every protest happening at Bakardwar, there was a counter protest. For every privilege motion that was moved by one side, there was another privilege motion moved by another. So what we have seen play out is essentially competitive tit-for-tat politics, both the sides going all out. Neither of the sides are ready to give any elbow room to the other or giving them a benefit of doubt. A quick break and then we return.